Jake Morrison stood at the wide window of Luna Station, watching Earth spin slowly below him. The blue planet looked peaceful from here, with white clouds drifting across the green and brown continents. He had been commander of the Earth Defense Force for 5 years now, and most days were quiet. Today felt different. His coffee was still warm when the alarm started ringing. "Commander Morrison to the control room," the voice called through the station speakers. Jake put down his cup and ran toward the control center. His boots made loud sounds on the metal floor as he hurried through the narrow hallways. The control room was full of people moving quickly between computer screens. Red lights flashed everywhere. Lieutenant Ben Clark looked up from his screen with worried eyes. "Sir, we have a big problem," Ben said. "Something just appeared at the edge of our solar system." Jake moved to the main screen. What he saw made his blood turn cold. Hundreds of dark shapes were moving toward Earth. They were not like any ships he had ever seen before. These ships looked alive, with surfaces that moved like skin and lights that pulsed like heartbeats. "How many?" Jake asked. "Over 200 ships, sir. The biggest one is huge. It's almost as big as our moon." Jake knew what these ships were. Every person in the galaxy knew about the Draconian Empire. They were the most feared species in known space. Their ships were not built. They were grown. Part machine, part living creature. They could heal themselves and change to fight any enemy. "Get me Admiral Brooks on the emergency channel," Jake ordered. While Ben worked on the communication, Jake thought about what this meant. The Draconians had never come to Earth before. They usually stayed far away from the Coalition worlds. Why were they here now? Admiral Kevin Brooks appeared on the screen. His face was serious and tired. "Jake, tell me you see them too." "I see them, sir. What do we do?" "All Coalition forces are too far away to help. Earth is on its own for now. But don't attack unless they attack first." Jake nodded. "Understood, sir." Dr. Lisa Campbell was in her lab when the emergency message came through. She was studying samples from a new alien plant when all the screens in the building started showing the same thing: alien ships moving toward Earth. Lisa was the head of xenobiology at the Terran Institute. She studied alien life forms and had worked with many different species. But she had never seen anything like the Draconian ships. She grabbed her coat and ran to the observation deck. Other scientists were already there, looking up at the sky. Through large telescopes, Dr. Richard Hayes was adjusting the settings on the biggest telescope. "Can you see them?" Lisa asked. "Yes," Richard said quietly. "They're beautiful and terrible at the same time." Lisa looked through the telescope. The ships were still far away, but she could see them clearly. They looked like giant sea creatures swimming through space. Their hulls breathed slowly, and patterns of light moved across their surfaces like waves. "They're definitely alive," she said. "The bio readings are off the charts." Captain Amy Rodriguez was on patrol duty when the alert came through. Her ship, the New Horizon, was the closest to the incoming fleet. She had been checking the outer asteroid belt for mining problems when her sensors started screaming. "Sandra, what do you see?" Amy asked her engineer. Sandra White was bent over her console, her hands moving quickly across the controls. "Captain, I'm reading massive organic signatures. These aren't normal ships." Amy looked at the main screen. The Draconian fleet was spread out in perfect formation, moving steadily toward Earth. The largest ship was in the center, surrounded by smaller vessels that looked like its children. "Ben, open a channel to Luna Station," Amy ordered. "Channel open, Captain." Luna Station. "This is Captain Rodriguez on the New Horizon. I have visual contact with the unknown fleet. They're maintaining standard battle formation, but showing no aggressive actions." Jake's voice came through the speakers. "Copy that, Captain. What's your assessment?" Amy watched the ships for a long moment. Sir, they're not acting like they want to fight. They're just moving, like they have somewhere to be. The hours passed slowly. The Draconian fleet continued toward Earth without changing course or speed. Every defense station in the solar system was watching them. Every screen showed the same thing, and massive alien ships getting closer and closer. Dr. Campbell worked with her team to analyze the energy signatures coming from the fleet. The readings were unlike anything in their databases. The ships were putting out power levels that should have been impossible for organic life. It's like they're not just ships, she told Richard. They're ecosystems. Each one has thousands of different life forms working together. Jake stayed in the control room, watching the enemy fleet approach. He had called all Earth's defenses to ready status, but he knew it wouldn't be enough. If the Draconians wanted to destroy Earth, they could do it easily. Sir, Ben said, they're entering lunar orbit. The main screen showed the Draconian ships taking positions around Earth. They moved with grace and purpose, like a school of fish finding their places in the ocean. The biggest ship, the one Amy had called the Leviathan, positioned itself directly above Earth's biggest continent dot. Then they stopped. The ships hung in space around Earth like sleeping giants. Their lights still pulsed, their hulls still breathed, but they didn't move. They didn't attack. They didn't communicate. They just waited. Jake stared at the screen, trying to understand what was happening. What are they doing? I don't know. Sir, Ben replied. They're just sitting there. Hours passed. The Draconian fleet remained motionless in Earth's orbit. Every attempt to communicate with them failed. They seemed to be waiting for something, but no one knew what dot as night fell on Earth. Billions of people looked up at the sky and saw the alien ships hanging above them like new moons. The ships glowed softly in the darkness. They're bioluminescent, patterns creating new constellations in the night sky. Jake didn't sleep that night. He stayed at his post, watching the silent fleet and wondering what they wanted. The most powerful military force in the galaxy had come to Earth, and all they did was wait. Something was coming. Jake could feel it in the air, in the way the ships pulsed, in the strange energy readings coming from deep space. The Draconians weren't here to conquer Earth. They were here to hide from something else. 3 days had passed since the Draconian fleet arrived at Earth. Jake Morrison had barely slept, spending most of his time in the control room watching the silent ships. The aliens hung in space like giant sleeping animals, their lights still, pulsing but never moving from their positions. Dr. Lisa Campbell worked around the clock in her lab, trying to understand what the ships were doing. Her team had set up sensors all around Earth's orbit to monitor the fleet. The readings were getting stranger every hour. The energy patterns are changing, she told her assistant, Dr. Carol Peterson. Look at these numbers. Carol studied the data on her screen. The quantum signatures are shifting. It's like they're building up to something. Lisa felt a chill run down her spine. How long until the energy reaches critical levels? At this rate, maybe 6 hours. Lisa grabbed her phone and called Jake Morrison. Commander, we need to talk. Right now. Jake arrived at the lab 20 minutes later. He looked tired and worried. What did you find? The ships are preparing for something big, Lisa said. The energy building up in their systems is beyond anything we've seen before. It's not weapon energy. It's something else. She showed him the readings on her computer. Lines of data moved across the screen like waves. These quantum signatures don't match anything in our databases. It's like they're trying to tear holes in space itself. Jake studied the numbers. He didn't understand all the science, but he knew danger when he saw it. How much time do we have? Maybe 5 hours now. Carol said, whatever they're planning, it's happening today. Captain Amy Rodriguez was still on patrol near the fleet when her sensors started going crazy. The New Horizon shook as waves of energy passed through space around her. "Sandra, what's happening to our systems?" Amy asked. Sandra White was fighting to keep her equipment working. "The ship's electronics are being affected by some kind of field. It's like the Draconian ships are creating interference in spacetime itself." Amy looked at the main screen. The alien fleet was starting to change. The ships were glowing brighter, and their hulls were moving faster, like they were breathing harder. "Ben, get me Luna Station," Amy ordered. "I'm trying, Captain, but the communications are breaking up." The energy waves were getting stronger. Amy could feel them through the ship's hull. Her instruments were showing readings that shouldn't be possible. "All crew, prepare for emergency jump," Amy announced. "We need to get away from here." But when Sandra tried to start the hyperspace engines, nothing happened. "Captain, we can't jump. The energy field is blocking our FTL systems." Amy felt fear creep into her chest. They were trapped near the alien fleet, and something big was about to happen. Dr. Richard Hayes was in the Deep Space Monitoring Station when the first major energy spike hit. The building shook, and half the lights went out. Emergency power kicked in, bathing everything in red light. "All stations, report status," he called out. "Sir, we're seeing massive quantum distortions around the fleet," one of his technicians reported. "The space around them is bending." Richard ran to the main observation deck. Through the reinforced windows, he could see the Draconian ships beginning to glow like small suns. The space around them was starting to look wrong, like looking at something through water. "Get everyone to the emergency bunkers," he ordered. "Now." Lieutenant Colonel Frank Davis was at Earth Defense Headquarters when the alarms started ringing again. This time, they were louder and more urgent than before. "Sir, we're reading massive energy buildup from the alien fleet," his communications officer reported. "Dr. Campbell says we have less than an hour before something happens." Frank looked at the tactical display. The Draconian ships were pulsing in perfect rhythm now, like a giant heartbeat. The energy readings were off the charts. "Order all civilian ships to leave the area immediately," he commanded, "and get our defense platforms ready for anything." But even as he gave the orders, Frank knew their weapons would be useless against whatever was coming. The Draconians had technology that humanity could barely understand. Dr. Campbell was in the orbital research station when the final energy spike began. The station's sensors were screaming warnings, and the lights were flickering as the electrical systems struggled to handle the interference. "Carol, are you getting this?" she called out. "The quantum fields are going critical," Carol replied. "Lisa, I think they're about to—" Her words were cut off as a wave of energy washed over the station. The lights went out completely, and for a moment everything was silent. Then the screens came back on, showing something impossible. The Draconian fleet was starting to fade out. It didn't happen all at once. The ships became translucent like ghosts, while their lights grew brighter and brighter. The space around them was twisting and bending, creating patterns that hurt to look at. Jake Morrison watched from Luna Station as the impossible happened. The most powerful fleet in the galaxy was disappearing before his eyes. "Sir, are they jumping to hyperspace?" Ben asked. "No," Jake said quietly. "This is something else." The energy readings spiked one final time, and then there was a flash of light so bright that it could be seen from Earth's surface. Every sensor in the solar system overloaded. Every screen went white. When the light faded, the Draconian fleet was gone. Not destroyed. Not jumped to hyperspace. Simply gone, as if they had never existed at all. Captain Rodriguez and her crew stared at empty space, where the massive fleet had been just moments before. The New Horizon sensors showed nothing but the normal background radiation of space. "Sandra, tell me you recorded what just happened," Amy said. "I tried, Captain," but the energy interference wiped out most of our data. All I have are fragments. Amy felt a chill that had nothing to do with the ship's temperature. Ben, try to contact Luna Station. Communications are clearing up, Captain. Connecting now. Jake Morrison's voice came through the speakers, sounding as confused as Amy felt. Captain Rodriguez, please tell me you saw what we saw. I saw it, sir. The entire fleet just vanished. There's nothing left. No debris? No energy signatures? Nothing, sir. It's like they were never here. Dr. Campbell was already working to analyze what data they had managed to collect. The quantum readings from the moment of disappearance were unlike anything in scientific literature. It's not teleportation, she told Richard. It's not any kind of faster-than-light travel we know about. The quantum signatures suggest something else entirely. What kind of something else? Richard asked. Lisa looked at the data again, hardly believing what she was seeing. The readings suggest the ships didn't go anywhere. They were absorbed, pulled into something. Absorbed by what? Lisa looked up at Richard with wide eyes. By Earth itself. The implications were staggering. Somehow, Earth had made the most powerful fleet in the galaxy disappear. But that was impossible. Earth was just a planet. It didn't have any technology that could do something like this. Over the next few hours, as teams across the solar system compared their data, a disturbing picture began to emerge. The energy readings showed that something had reached out from Earth and pulled the Draconian fleet into the planet itself. But there was no sign of the ships on Earth's surface. No impact craters, no debris, no energy signatures. It was as if the planet had simply swallowed the fleet, whole. Jake Morrison called an emergency meeting of all department heads. Scientists, military officers, and government officials gathered in the main conference room of Luna Station. We need to figure out what happened, Jake said. The galaxy's most powerful fleet just disappeared, and somehow Earth was involved. Dr. Campbell presented her findings. The quantum data shows that the fleet was absorbed by some kind of field generated from Earth's core. But we have no idea. How or why? Could it be some kind of natural phenomenon? Asked Colonel Davis. Nothing natural could do this, Lisa replied. This was deliberate, controlled. The room fell silent as everyone considered the implications. Earth had somehow destroyed or captured the Draconian fleet. But if Earth could do that, what else could it do? Jake looked around the room at the worried faces. We need to find out what our planet is really capable of. And we need to find out soon. Because if Earth could make the Draconian fleet disappear, the rest of the galaxy was going to want answers. And Jake wasn't sure humanity was ready for those questions. 6 months had passed since the Draconian fleet vanished near Earth. The event had shaken the entire galaxy. News of the disappearance spread to every world in the coalition, and fear followed close behind. Dr. Lisa Campbell now led the largest scientific investigation in human history. Scientists from dozens of alien species had come to Earth to study what happened. The Terran Institute had become the center of galactic attention. The quantum scars are still there, Lisa told the assembled team. Around the conference table sat beings from across the galaxy. The crystal-like Zephyrians glowed softly blue, while the energy-based luminari flickered like living flames. These scars in space-time, said Dr. Zethkar, the lead Zephyrian scientist. They are not natural. Something created them deliberately. Lisa nodded. We've mapped the distortions all around Earth's orbit. They form a perfect pattern, like a web designed to catch something. Detective Ryan Foster had been called in to help with the investigation. He used to solve crimes for the Earth Police, but now he was trying to solve the biggest mystery in the galaxy. Let's think about this like a crime scene, Ryan said. We have a victim, the Draconian fleet. We have a crime, they disappeared. And we have a suspect, Earth itself. Dr. Lavra Mills, a coalition investigator, was working with Ryan. She had studied many strange cases across the galaxy, but nothing like this. The problem is motive, Lavra said. Why would Earth want to capture the Draconian fleet? And how could a planet do such a thing? Ryan had been studying all the data for weeks. I think we're asking the wrong questions. Maybe Earth didn't choose to capture the fleet. Maybe it was programmed to do it. The other scientists looked at him with interest. Programmed by whom? Asked Dr. Zethkar. That's what we need to find out. Professor Ellen Green had been working on the theoretical aspects of the disappearance. She was a physicist who specialized in quantum mechanics and space-time distortions. I've been running simulations, Ellen said. The energy patterns we recorded match what we would expect if Earth had some kind of massive defensive system hidden inside it. She showed them her computer models. Look at these calculations. The energy came from deep in Earth's core, but it wasn't geological. It was artificial. Captain Amy Rodriguez had been promoted to head the space-based investigation. She spent her days flying around Earth's orbit, looking for clues that might have been missed. We found something, Amy announced at the next meeting. Small traces of Draconian biometal in the quantum distortion zones. She placed a tiny sample on the table. It looked like a piece of metal, but it moved slightly, as if it were alive. This is from their ship hulls, Amy continued. But here's the strange part. It's not just floating in space. It's moving toward Earth. Dr. Campbell studied the sample under her microscope. The biometal is being attracted to something on Earth. It's like it's trying to rejoin the rest of the fleet. But where is the rest of the fleet? Asked Ryan. Lisa looked up from her microscope. I think I know. She pulled up a map of Earth on the main screen. We've been monitoring seismic activity since the fleet disappeared. Look at these readings from the Deep Core Drilling Project. The map showed thousands of small earthquakes deep underground. They formed a pattern that matched the orbital positions of the Draconian ships. The fleet isn't gone, Lisa said. It's inside Earth. The room fell silent as everyone considered this possibility. Dr. Zethkar's crystal body pulsed with rapid light patterns, a sign of excitement in his species. You believe the planet consumed the fleet? He asked. Not consumed, Lisa replied. Captured, stored, like a prison. Dr. Tony Baker was a geologist who had been working on the Deep Core Drilling Project. When Lisa's team asked him to go deeper, he was excited but worried. We're already drilling deeper than anyone has ever gone. Before, Tony told his assistant, Dr. Susan Reed, if we go much further, we might destabilize the entire drilling operation. Dr. Campbell says it's important, Susan replied. She thinks there's something artificial down there. Tony looked at the drilling data. They were already 500 miles down, far deeper than any previous project. The rock samples they were bringing up were strange, too regular, too organized. Susan, look at this, Tony said, showing her a sample. This isn't natural rock formation. These layers are too perfect. Susan studied the sample. It's like someone built this. But who could build something this deep in Earth's core? Meanwhile, Dr. Christine Adams was making her own discoveries. She was an archaeologist who specialized in ancient civilizations. Lisa had asked her to look for any historical evidence of similar events. I've found something, Christine announced at the next team meeting. Cave paintings from all over the world, all showing the same thing. She showed them photographs of cave art from 6 different continents. Each painting showed the same scene, large shapes in the sky being pulled down into the earth by streams of light. These paintings are old, Christine continued. Some of them are over 50,000 years old, but they all show the same event. Ryan studied the paintings carefully. So this has happened before. Not just before, Christine said. Many times. I found similar artwork in ancient Egypt, pre-Columbian America, and Aboriginal Australia. The same event, painted by people who lived thousands of years apart. Dr. Paul Martinez was a linguist who worked with ancient languages. Christine had asked him to help translate some of the symbols found near the cave paintings. The symbols are definitely language, Paul said, but not any human language I've seen before. They're too complex, too mathematical. He showed them his translation work. As far as I can tell, they're describing Earth as a guardian world, a planet that protects the galaxy from dangerous species. Guardian world? Asked Laura Mills. According to these texts, Earth was designed to trap aggressive species that threaten galactic stability. When such species come near Earth with hostile intentions, the planet's defensive systems activate automatically. The implications were staggering. Earth wasn't just humanity's home world. It was a cosmic defense system built by some ancient civilization to protect the galaxy. But who built it? Asked Dr. Zethkar. I don't know, Paul replied. The texts don't say. They just call them the builders, or the first ones. Dr. Campbell was working late in her lab when she made the breakthrough. She had been analyzing the quantum resonance patterns from Earth's core when she noticed something odd. The energy. Signatures match, she said to herself. They're identical. She called Ryan Foster immediately. Ryan, you need to see this. The quantum signatures from Earth's core match the ones we recorded from the Draconian fleet. Ryan arrived at the lab. Within minutes. What does that mean? It means the fleet isn't destroyed. It's alive and being held in some kind of stasis field deep inside Earth. Lisa showed him the data. The biometal samples we found in orbit aren't debris. They're trying to reconnect with the main fleet. Earth is holding the ships in a quantum prison. How many ships could Earth hold? Lisa looked at the energy readings. Based on these power levels, hundreds of fleets, maybe thousands. You're saying Earth has been doing this for thousands of years? Maybe millions of years. Paul's translations suggest this system has been active since before human civilization began. Ryan sat down heavily. So we've been living on a prison planet our entire existence, and we never knew it. Not a prison for us, Lisa corrected. A prison for species that threaten galactic peace. The system only activates when truly dangerous species approach Earth with hostile intent. But why Earth? Why put this system here? Lisa looked at the data again. I think Earth was chosen because it could support intelligent life. The builders needed someone to watch over the prison, to maintain it. That's why they put the system here and let life develop naturally. So humanity is the prison guards? We're the caretakers. The guardians of the guardians. The next day, Lisa called a full meeting of the investigation team. Scientists, military, officers, and government officials gathered to hear her report. We've solved the mystery, Lisa announced. Earth is an ancient defensive system designed to capture aggressive species. The Draconian fleet is being held in a quantum stasis field in Earth's core, along with the remains of other dangerous species that have been trapped over millions of years. The room erupted in discussion. Some people were excited by the discovery. Others were frightened by the implications. What do we do now? Asked Commander Morrison. We need to decide, Lisa replied. Do we tell the galaxy what we've discovered? Do we try to control the system? Or do we try to destroy it? Captain Rodriguez spoke up. What happens if we try to destroy it? What happens to all the species being held inside? They would probably be released, Lisa said, all at once. The room fell silent as everyone considered this. Millions of years worth of the galaxy's most dangerous species, all released at the same time. We can't risk that, said Admiral Brooks, who had come to Earth for the meeting. The galaxy wouldn't survive. So we keep the secret? Asked Ryan. For now, Admiral Brooks replied. Until we understand the system better. But Lisa knew the secret wouldn't stay hidden for long. Other species were already asking questions about Earth's capabilities. Soon, the entire galaxy would know that humanity had been living on the most powerful weapon in known space. The question was, what woe? The secret didn't last long. Within 2 weeks of the discovery, someone leaked the information to the galactic news networks. The story spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Earth was not just a planet, but an ancient prison designed to trap dangerous species. Admiral Kevin Brooks was in an emergency meeting with the Coalition Council when the news broke. Representatives from 50 different species filled the Great Hall, and most of them looked angry or afraid. The humans have been living on a weapon, declared Ambassador Krell of the Centauri Republic. His 4 arms gestured wildly as he spoke. A weapon that can destroy entire fleets without warning. We demand an explanation, added the Altarian delegate, her peaceful blue skin now flushed with worry. How long have you known about this? Admiral Brooks stood at the center of the key hall, feeling the weight of dozens of alien eyes upon him. We discovered the truth only recently. We had no idea what Earth really was. You expect us to believe that? Krell's voice was full of doubt. The most powerful defensive system in the galaxy. And you never noticed? Dr. Lisa Campbell had been called to testify before the council. She stood beside Admiral Brooks, her hands full of data tablets and scientific reports. The system was designed to be hidden, Lisa explained. It only activates when truly aggressive species approach Earth with hostile intent. For most of human history, we've been peaceful. The system never had reason to activate. The Zephyrian representative, Dr. Zethkar, spoke in his crystalline voice. Our analysis of the quantum signatures suggests the system is millions of years old. It predates all known civilizations. That doesn't change the fact that Earth is dangerous, said the Luminary delegate, her energy form flickering with agitation. How do we know it won't activate against us? Commander Jake Morrison had been recalled to Earth to help coordinate the planet's defense. He knew that many species were now afraid of Earth, and fear could lead to conflict. We need to be careful, he told his staff. Half the galaxy wants to study us, and the other half wants to destroy us before we can use the planet's power against them. Lieutenant Colonel Frank Davis was monitoring communications from across the galaxy. Sir, we're intercepting military communications from several species. The Centauri are mobilizing their fleet, and the Vegan Empire is moving ships toward our borders. Are they planning to attack? Jake asked. It's hard to tell. They say they're just being cautious, but their formations look aggressive. Dr. Campbell was working with her expanded team to understand more about Earth's defensive system. The drilling project had gone deeper than ever before, and what they found surprised everyone. A core technology is incredible, she told Dr. Tony Baker. It's not just a prison. It's a complete ecosystem management system. Tony studied the readings from the deep core samples. The metal structures down there are maintaining perfect environmental conditions. Temperature, pressure, even artificial gravity fields. It's like a series of habitats, Lisa said. Each captured species is being held in conditions that keep them alive but unable to escape. Dr. Susan Reed had been analyzing the biometal samples they had recovered. The Draconian fleet isn't just imprisoned, it's being preserved. The system is keeping the ships in perfect condition. But why? Asked Tony. Why not just destroy them? Lisa looked at the data thoughtfully. I think the system is designed to be reversible. If the species can prove they're no longer a threat, they might be released. Has that ever happened before? We don't know yet. But the system seems designed with that possibility in mind. Detective Ryan Foster was working with Dr. Laura Mills to investigate other sites around the galaxy. Their search had revealed something disturbing. We've found 12 other planets with similar quantum signatures, Ryan reported to the team. All of them have experienced mysterious disappearances of aggressive species. Lara showed them star charts marking the locations. There, spread throughout the galaxy, positioned strategically near major trade routes and populated systems. So Earth isn't the only guardian world? Asked Dr. Campbell. No, Ryan replied. We think there's a whole network of them. Earth is just one part of a galaxy-wide defensive system. Captain Amy Rodriguez had been leading expeditions to these other guardian worlds. What she found there was both fascinating and terrifying. Each world is different, Amy reported. Some are gas giants, others are rocky planets like Earth, but they all have the same core technology. Any signs of the species that built them? Asked Commander Morrison. None. It's like they vanished completely after setting up the system. Dr. Christine Adams had been studying the historical records of these other worlds. I've found references to the builders and artifacts from a dozen different civilizations. They're always described the same way: ancient, powerful, and completely mysterious. What happened to them? Asked Dr. Paul Martinez. No one knows. They appear in historical records for a brief period, then vanish. But their defensive system kept working. The political situation was getting worse. 3 major alien governments had demanded that Earth be evacuated and the defensive system be shut down. Others wanted to study the technology for their own. U.S. Ambassador Sarah Chun was Earth's representative to the Coalition Council. She had been working around the clock to prevent an interspecies war. The situation is getting dangerous, she told Admiral Brooks. The Centauri Republic is demanding access to Earth's core technology. The Altarians want the system destroyed. And the Vegan Empire is suggesting that Earth should be placed under galactic guardianship. What does that mean? Admiral Brooks asked. It means other species would control Earth and decide how to use the defensive system. That's unacceptable, Brooks said firmly. Earth is humanity's home. We won't give up our planet. Dr. Campbell made another breakthrough when she discovered that the Earth's defensive system was still learning. The quantum computers in the planet's core were constantly analyzing threats and updating their responses. The system is alive, she told her team. Not alive like a biological organism, but alive like an incredibly advanced artificial intelligence. Can we communicate with it? Asked Dr. Zethkar. We're trying, but it's so advanced that it's hard to establish contact. Lisa had been working on a way to interface with the planetary AI. Using quantum communication technology, she had been sending signals toward Earth's core. I think I made contact, she announced one morning. Something responded to our signals. The response was not in words or images, but in pure mathematical concepts. The AI was trying to communicate using equations and scientific principles. It's trying to explain itself, Lisa said. The system was designed to protect galactic civilization from species that would destroy it. How does it decide which species are threats? Asked Ryan. It analyzes behavior patterns, technology levels, and historical actions. The Draconians triggered the system because they had destroyed hundreds of civilizations. What about humans? Asked Commander Morrison. Lisa looked at the data stream from the AI. It says humans are not a threat. We're designated as caretakers. The system trusts us to help maintain galactic peace. The AI revealed more information over the following days. The builder species had been the first to achieve galactic civilization, but they had seen too many promising species destroy themselves or others. They created the Guardian World Network as a way to preserve galactic civilization for future generations. The builders didn't disappear, Lisa explained to the team. They transformed themselves into energy beings and became part of the system. They're still here, watching over the galaxy. So they're like gods? Asked Dr. Martinez. More like gardeners, Lisa replied. They're nurturing galactic civilization, protecting it from species that would destroy it. The revelation changed everything. The Guardian World Network wasn't just a defense system. It was a gift from an ancient civilization that wanted to preserve life and peace in the galaxy. But not everyone saw it that way. The Centauri Republic announced that they were forming a military alliance to contain the Earth threat. 3 other species joined them, and suddenly Earth was facing the possibility of war. "We need to make a decision," Admiral Brooks told the Emergency Council. "Do we use Earth's defensive system to protect ourselves, or do we try to find a peaceful solution?" Commander Morrison looked around the room at the worried faces. "If we use the system against coalition species, we become the very thing it's designed to protect against, a threat to galactic civilization. But if we don't defend ourselves, Earth could be destroyed," pointed out Colonel Davis. Dr. Campbell had been quiet during the discussion, but now she spoke up. "There might be another option. What if we could prove to the galaxy that Earth's system only responds to actual threats? How do we do that?" asked Admiral Brooks. "We invite representatives from every species to come to Earth. Let them study the system themselves. Show them that it won't activate unless they approach with truly hostile intentions." Commander Morrison considered this idea. "It's risky. If someone does have hostile intentions, the system might activate." "But that would prove our point," Lisa said. "The system only responds to real threats, not to peaceful visitors." Dr. Zethkar's crystal body pulsed with thoughtful light patterns. This could work. If the system remains inactive while we study it, it would demonstrate TH. 1 year after the truth about Earth was revealed, the galaxy had settled into an uneasy peace. Humanity had proven that the Guardian World System was defensive, not aggressive, but questions remained about what role Earth should play in galactic affairs. Commander Jake Morrison had been promoted to Director of Guardian Operations, overseeing Earth's new responsibilities. His office in Luna Station now received reports from Guardian worlds across the galaxy. "The network is bigger than we thought," he told Dr. Lisa Campbell during their weekly briefing. "We've identified 27 Guardian worlds so far, and there might be more." Lisa studied the galactic map on his screen. Red dots marked the confirmed Guardian worlds, spread throughout known space. Each one has a caretaker species. Some are more advanced than us. Others are still developing. Any of them know as much as we do now? A few? The keepers of Altair 7 have been aware of their planet's true nature for over 1,000 years. They've learned to communicate directly with their planetary AI. Jake looked impressed. "Maybe we should visit them." Captain Rodriguez is already planning the mission. Dr. Campbell had become Earth's leading expert on Guardian World technology. She spent her days communicating with the planetary AI, learning about the ancient systems that protected galactic civilization. "The AI told me something interesting today," she said to her research team. "The builder species didn't just create the Guardian World Network. They created safeguards for other dangerous technologies too." Dr. Carol Peterson looked up from her computer. "What kind of safeguards?" "Limits on weapons development, automatic. Shutdown systems for dangerous experiments. Even methods to prevent species from destroying their own planets through pollution or war. So they're still protecting us even now? In ways we're only beginning to understand." Detective Ryan Foster had been investigating the other Guardian worlds, trying to piece together the full history of the Builder Network. What he found was remarkable. The Builders left breadcrumbs, he told Dr. Laura Mills. Clues and hints scattered across the galaxy. "I think they wanted future civilizations to eventually discover the truth. Why not just tell us directly? Because each species had to earn the knowledge. They had to prove they were mature enough to handle the responsibility." Ryan showed her ancient artifacts from a dozen different worlds. "Look at these symbols. They're all the same mathematical principles. just expressed in different ways. The builders taught each species according to their level of understanding. Captain Amy Rodriguez had been leading missions to contact other caretaker species. Her ship, now called the Guardian's Hope, had become a diplomatic vessel connecting the protective worlds. "The keepers of Altair 7 are amazing," Amy reported after her latest mission. "They've turned their entire civilization into gardeners of their guardian world. Every citizen understands their role in protecting galactic peace. What can we learn from them?" SKED Admiral Brooks. "Patience, mostly. They don't see their role as a burden, but as an honor. They've built their whole culture around the idea of service to the galaxy." Dr. Tony Baker and his team had continued, drilling into Earth's core, discovering new layers of technology with each expedition. "The deeper we go, the more complex it gets," he told Dr. Susan Reed. "It's like an onion made of quantum computers. Any sign of the bottom?" "Not yet. The AI says there are at least 50 more levels below what we've explored. Each level has different functions." "What kind of functions?" "Environmental control, threat assessment, communication networks, even what looks like manufacturing facilities. The planet is basically a giant machine." Dr. Christine Adams had been studying the cultural impact of the Guardian World revelation on human society. "People are handling it better than expected," she told her colleagues. "Most humans seem proud that Earth was chosen for this role. Any negative reactions?" "Some groups want to use the planet's power for human expansion. Others worry that we're not worthy of the responsibility. But overall, people understand the importance of what we're protecting." Dr. Paul Martinez had been working with alien linguists to decode more of the builder texts. "We found something incredible," he announced, at a research meeting. "Instructions for building new Guardian worlds." The room fell silent. "New ones?" asked Dr. Campbell. "The builder technology can be transferred to other planets. If a species proves worthy, they can establish their own Guardian world to protect their region of space. Have any species tried this?" "3 that we know of. 2 succeeded. 1 failed catastrophically. The failed attempt created a dead zone in space that still exists today. The implications were staggering. The Guardian World Network could be expanded, but only by species mature enough to handle the technology safely." Ambassador Sarah Chun had been working with the Coalition Council to establish new protocols for Guardian World interactions. "We've created the Guardian Accords," she announced. "Rules for how different species can interact with protective worlds." "What kind of rules?" asked KED Admiral Brooks. "No military approach without permission. No attempts to study the technology without approval from the caretaker species, and automatic mediation if conflicts arise near Guardian worlds." "Will all species agree to this?" "Most will. The ones that don't will find themselves facing the Guardian systems if they cause trouble." Dr. Campbell had been having longer conversations with Earth's planetary A. "It's been teaching me about the builder species," she told Commander Morrison. "They weren't that different from us when they started. What happened to them?" "They evolved beyond physical form. The AI says they exist now as pure consciousness, watching over the galaxy they helped preserve." "Are they still active?" "In a way. They don't interfere directly, but they guide the Guardian systems when major decisions need to be made." The conversation was interrupted by alarms. Something was approaching Earth's solar system. "Sir, we have multiple contacts coming out of hyperspace," reported Lieutenant Ben Clark. "It's a large fleet, but they're not showing hostile intentions." Jake looked at the tactical display. "Who are they?" "Confederation of Free Worlds, sir. They're broadcasting a diplomatic message." The fleet that emerged from hyperspace was impressive, but not threatening. 50 ships in ceremonial formation, led by a massive vessel that looked more like a floating city than a warship. "This is Admiral Vextar of the Free Worlds Confederation," came the transmission. "We request permission to approach Earth for a formal ceremony." Jake looked at Dr. Campbell. "What kind of ceremony?" Lisa checked with the planetary AI. "They want to formally recognize Earth as a guardian world and pledge their support to our mission." "Is this normal?" "According to the AI, it's a tradition. When a guardian world is first recognized, other civilizations come to show their respect. Over the next few days, more fleets arrived. Not for war, but for celebration. Representatives from hundreds of species came to honor Earth's role. As a protector of galactic civilization, the ceremony was held in Earth's orbit, with ships from across the galaxy forming a massive circle around the planet. Leaders from dozens of species gave speeches praising humanity's acceptance of their guardian duties. "Today, we welcome Earth and humanity into the ancient brotherhood of guardian worlds," announced the ceremony's leader, an elderly being from a species that had been spacefaring for over 10,000 years. "Your planet joins a sacred trust that has protected galactic civilization for millions of years." Dr. Campbell watched the ceremony from Luna Station, feeling the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. "Are we ready for this?" she asked Commander Morrison. "I don't know if anyone is ever ready," Jake replied, "but we'll do our best." The ceremony concluded with a gift from the assembled species, a quantum communication network that would connect Earth to all other guardian worlds instantly. "You are no longer alone," the elder being said. "The guardian families are united." After the fleets departed, Earth seemed different somehow. The planet's AI was more active, more responsive. It began sharing advanced technologies that could help humanity better fulfill their role as guardians. "The AI says this is just the beginning," Dr. Campbell told her team. "Now that we're officially recognized, we can access deeper levels of guardian technology." "What kind of technology?" asked Dr. Peterson. "Planetary defense grids, advanced sensors that can detect threats across multiple star systems, even the ability to create new guardian systems on other worlds." "Are we ready for that kind of power?" Lisa looked at the data streams flowing from Earth's core. "The AI will help us learn responsibly. It won't give us more than we can handle." Captain Rodriguez returned from another diplomatic mission with news from across the galaxy. "The other guardian species are excited to work with us," she reported. "They've been waiting for centuries for a new member to join their ranks. What do they expect from us? To learn, to grow, and to help protect the galaxy. Each guardian species has different strengths. Ours seems to be adaptability and curiosity. And our weaknesses? Impatience and tendency toward conflict. But the AI says those can be overcome with time and experience." Dr. Campbell made a discovery that changed everything they thought they knew about the Guardian system. "The AI showed me something incredible," she announced. "The captured species aren't just imprisoned. They're being rehabilitated." "What do you mean?"